All right, so welcome to our kitchen, and it's Sunday, and Sunday's prep day. So we were actually away for last weekend, or we were away for a couple days. We're gone last weekend, so it's a bit of a bigger prep day today. But it's always a good idea to prep your days. It's always a good idea to prep your days so you're ahead of the week and you always had everything planned. So we have a few things I'm going to do with you. This is going to be a random kind of Sunday prep day. So we have a granola prepped in the oven or cooking in the oven. Dorothy made some muffins, and I'm going to whip up a little bit of a stir fry-ish type of meal. I don't even know what that's going to work out like yet. And then I have some kombucha that I just made here brewing as well. So a bit of a conglomeration of a bunch of different things that we prep or try to prep on the weekend, so we're ready for the week. Oh, green smoothie as well. So we're going to chop it up here in the kitchen. I'm going to chop up right in front of you here. So I don't even know what we're going to start with here. Let's see what we got going on here. So here we're gonna chop up some mushrooms, and what I'm gonna do is what we made here is some rice. We've got some red rice. It's kind of cool actually, and we haven't tried that before. Actually, that turned out quite well. So we're gonna have some rice, and then we got some broccoli here. I think that's just Chinese broccoli. So kind of excited to throw that in the pan. I don't know what that's going to look like yet, but we washed that, we soaked it, and that's ready to cook for the most part. I'll cut off the ends in a second. And then in this pan, I'm going to put some mushrooms, some coconut oil, and I'm sure I can think of something else to mix it up with. So that's how I usually cook, to be honest with you. I don't have a plan. I just like to throw things together and see what works. So I'm going to put some coconut oil in that pan right now. And that, for me, that usually looks like that's coconut oil. In the summer months, that's going to be liquid. So that's solid right now. It's actually half. It's almost turning liquid right now. So that looks like about a teaspoon for me to put that in the pan. And we're going to heat that on low. And while I peel these mushrooms, we're going to let that saute. I think saute in nothing. I think you need to have, I'm peeling these mushrooms, by the way. I don't wash mushrooms. I think it's much easier to peel. I think you need to have food in the pan for it to saute, so it's sauteing by itself. So I'm just going to peel these. I hope you can see what I'm doing here. I'm going to try to go a bit quicker. I really enjoy cooking. It feels medicinal to me, or soothing sometimes. So I usually don't rush. I just take my time, and whatever comes up, comes up. So we're going to have a random video. I don't want to make it too long for you. So we'll try to get through each different thing that we're doing a little quicker than usual. I don't know how many, right now I have 2, 4, 6, 8 mushrooms, and that's just what was in the fridge. So if you want to try this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix the rice in with the mushrooms, coconut oil. I'm going to put some garlic in there. I put garlic in just about anything. It's fantastic for your immune system. It's a perfect flavor to go with just about everything. So coconut oil, maybe some onion. I think there's some onion that I just picked up at the grocery store. So we'll add an onion, mushroom, garlic, coconut oil, and then we're going to throw the rice. That rice doesn't have much flavor. Most rice doesn't have much flavor. So I do that with quinoa as well. If there's quinoa sitting in the fridge and I want to change it up a bit, this is a fantastic way to do that. So we always recommend keeping quinoa in the fridge. You can throw it to salad. Doesn't take long to cook, but if it's already there, then you don't have to wait for that type of carb to cook. Here's my beautiful Cutco knife. I love it. So I'm gonna chop those up. This here, these go to chickens, which is pretty cool. And you know what I'm gonna do? Mushrooms are the quickest to cook usually. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna throw this onion in. That's just a yellow sweet onion, I think they call it. I don't really have an onion preference. Probably don't love, what is it? Purple oranges, or oranges, purple onions. But they're all the same once you cook, at least for me. So I'm gonna chop this up and throw it in. So I'm gonna use that half onion. So I'm just going to chop the edges off. I'm gonna peel that top layer off. And I'm gonna chop this up and throw it in the pan so it can saute in the coconut oil. I'm gonna get some garlic in a second too. So that's liquid. That just took seconds really to heat up that coconut oil. Watch your fingers when you're chopping, especially if you have a fancy knife like this. There's no real way there's no specific way where the way you have to chop your onions. Sometimes I leave them in slices. Sometimes I chop them up thin or cube them. However you want to do it. And however, I try to get rid of these chop up onions quick, so my eyes right now are just starting to burn. You can tell the freshness of an onion by how much it burns. These sweet onions, they tend to be, I'm not sure why I like them, they tend to be a little bit fresher, I think. There's white onions, those purple onions I was talking about. My eyes are starting to burn quite a bit here. Let's get rid of these. I'm just gonna swipe this in the pan. Here's my little garlic container. Let's see if we can find some. So there's a few cloves right there. I'm just gonna chop the ends of those. So now that the coconut oil is liquid, I'm just turning the heat up a bit. I'm gonna chop the ends of these cloves off. And then I'm gonna chop the tips off as well. That's just a burn a bit from that, from the onion. So I'm just twisting that off. If you cut the top and bottom off, the garlic comes off quite easy. Often hear people complaining about that they don't know how to, or they don't want to take the wrapping or skin off garlic. Once you do it a few times, it doesn't really take long. Dorothy has a video on how to do that quickly. You chop the top and bottom off, and then you shake it up in a can or a couple jars or a couple bowls put together. And that's it. So those are 4 of these little garlic cloves. I'm just gonna get rid of this skin and toss one of the cloves on the ground. So I'm gonna chop these up. The size of this, sometimes you can put this in one of those garlic presses. That works. I like to chop them up. I like the taste of garlic. I like to eat it. Sometimes I roast it. Doesn't really matter to me anyway. It might matter to you, but if I get a chunk, if it's cooked, it seems to lose the flavor. So it's not so strong. But sometimes I like chunks of garlic in there. So this is just starting to cook here. Or saute, I suppose. And I'm throwing that garlic. That's about, oh, can you see that? That's about what I got for garlic. I'm gonna toss that in the pan. Mix that around. When I'm all grown up, I'll have different cameras from different angles and you'll be able to see everything. But for now, we'll deal with what we got. I use these stumps. I just chop the bottoms off. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm just gonna chop the bottoms off of those mushroom stumps so I can, I don't know, they don't always seem that clean, or sometimes they're discolored. I don't know if you have to do that, but I suppose that's what I do. After we get this in there, I'm chopping this up now. That's my peeled mushroom. I'll move that in case that's in the way. I don't know if you can see me chop. Maybe that'll help. I suppose you don't have to see my face. So I'm just chopping those up there. And I'm gonna toss those in the pan right away. All this size and stuff, I think sometimes we get hung up on what the perfect way to cook is, like what size is it supposed to be, or how is it supposed to look. I mean, it's really preference. You don't have to eat these stumps. I don't throw, oh, got away. I don't throw too many things away, so that's why I eat those stumps. And then I'm gonna chop these up. Keep your fingers out of the way. I wouldn't call myself an expert chopper, but I chop quite a bit. Try not to rush through this chopping stage. If there's no reason to rush through, may as well keep all your fingers. I'm just putting these in slices right now. You can chop, like I said, you can chop them up in cubes, however you want. Really doesn't matter. To me, it's not going to change the flavor. I rarely cook, or maybe I never cook for a bunch of people. So I mean, it doesn't matter. I'm just mixing this here. So I don't know, maybe you can see that. That's just kind of, it's going to turn translucent. I'm going to toss these mushrooms in right now. All right, so we got that going. Pick up anything. I like to clean up as I go. It just seems to make cleanup a whole lot quicker. So I'll put these away. I would recommend putting the onion in a container, just because it's so strong. I got this beautiful cilantro, and I found on a discount rack, and it had these 3 big bunches, and they don't last too long. That's the problem. Although I'll show you something cool I got. Oh, I already have it out. Here it is. So this actually got as a gift, and you put your herbs in there, and then it just stays fresher longer, and actually does last longer. I want to make a green smoothie with you here in a second. So I'm just going to take a big bunch of this cilantro. I washed it. I soaked it. We soak it in, what is that called? The vinegar, the apple cider vinegar. I'm just going to take off anything that looks old. I'm going to chop this bottom off here. And if those looked okay, I would throw that in a smoothie, but they don't. So that's probably why they're on the discount rack. They just look like they weren't going to last too much longer. I would like to throw that whole thing in, but I think that might be going a little overboard. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to take that bunch right there. I'm just making this up as I go, by the way. Really hardly had a plan. So what I'm going to do is I'm I'm gonna chop this up. Watch your fingers. I love this knife. Cuts through just about anything like butter. And these are delicious. I like to chew on the ends of parsley and cilantro. It's like junior mint. Anyone Seinfeld fans out there? That's pretty much it. I don't think I even need to do that. I just like chopping sometimes. Okay, so let's toss that in. I'm just gonna mix this. So this is here. That's what we look like here at this time. And I'm just gonna toss all this cilantro in. Oh yeah, that is beautiful right there. Check that out. Pow! All right. I do enjoy cooking. All right, if I didn't say that already. Cleaning up as we go. All right, so we got this broccoli here. I think it's Chinese broccoli. It's like a bouquet of flowers from me to you. Just kidding. Okay, so let's get serious in here. That doesn't look very fantastic. I don't really know the rules. We don't get Chinese broccoli very often. I'm gonna take those flowers off and just guess that you don't eat them. And if I planned this a bit better, I would have a different type of, I'm trying to think of what, right now, at the moment, I'm trying to think of what I could saute with that, but I don't have any great ideas right now. So what I'm gonna do is put coconut oil in that pan. This is about the way I cook, by the way. It's a little bit of chaos. There's not a whole lot of planning. I just grab whatever I have in the fridge. Can you see me? All right. So we got the coconut oil. That's going to be sauteing there. And here's going to be, I'm going to chop off the ends of these, just like the mushrooms, because they don't look fantastic. So I'm really going to steam these. That's what I'm going to do. And to be honest with you, I don't know a bunch of different ways on how to cook this. So I'm just looking at what doesn't look healthy and what I don't want to eat. So let's get rid of that. And we're going to get rid of that. And then we'll get rid of that. And we're almost done here. I'm really just going to throw this in the pan. You crazy. See what happens. Taking these flowers off, I don't know why. I mean, I don't know if you can eat them, or you could probably eat them. All right, I'm taking that right there. And I'm just going to throw it in the wok. That doesn't look very healthy. What else we got? I might look through this a little bit more thoroughly, but it doesn't concern me too much. Like I said, it was washed, it was soaked. I cut off most of the ends. Some don't look all that healthy, and some look fantastic. So I'm going to throw that in the wok right now. So that's going to shrink down quite a bit. And I'm going to mix this here. Oh my, does this look heavenly? I'm going to show you what this looks like in a second. So that, I don't know if that looks good to you or if you can see it really, but that's what that's gonna look like. That's pretty much done. I'm gonna turn that heat off. I'm actually gonna put the wok on that burner there. Not like it matters much, but let's turn that on. I'm just gonna get a glass lid there. That's not gonna fit. That's all right. What was I doing? So I'm gonna grab this because I improvise wherever I go. That's just a type of cookie sheet. So clearly I don't have a glass lid because I want to steam that broccoli. That's big enough. So all I'm gonna do is take that and I'm gonna put it on top. I'm gonna add water to that. Don't let me forget. So, I do want to show you what we got going on here. So, here's the granola in the oven. Delicious, made with complete truth protein. That looks absolutely delicious. So, we have plenty. We have at least 2, maybe 3 recipes for you guys with the protein, or sorry, with the granola. And there's muffins in the fridge as well that we just got done, or well, I didn't do anything actually, that Dorothy just got done making. So what I'm gonna do here is, make you a green smoothie. So that's gonna be cooking. You know what I'd like to do, just for flavor purposes, is I'm gonna chop up a couple more garlic cloves and throw it in that pan with the broccoli. So just bear with me here. I'm gonna chop the top and bottom off. These ones are a bit bigger, so I don't need to cut so many. Just gonna twist that off there. So I hope you guys are finding benefits out of preparing on the weekend. There's just so much. I mean, there's so many advantages to have food in the fridge. Like, I've been there. Not like I always have food prepped, but there's mostly food prepped. And I'm just like everybody else. If there's not food ready, then you go and grab something you shouldn't have. It's a little bit more difficult when it's not in the house. We have a pretty good habit of not having foods in the house that you shouldn't have. But I mean, we all like our little pleasures of life now, don't we? So I'm going to chop that up. Not all that fine. I'm just going to chop that up a bit. Okay. I'm going to toss that in the pan. Like that. Okay, we got that taken care of. Now we're gonna make a green smoothie. So here we go. We got some plastic that I love dearly in this cucumber. English cucumbers, I'm not sure it really matters what type of cucumber you have. This mint is unbelievable. This is from our garden, actually. It's already starting to come up. Mint grows like weeds, and I love it. I dehydrate it, stacks of it, and then I put in smoothies all winter. So all I'm doing is pulling that off the stem. Fresh mint. I don't know if that will probably chop up in my blender. I don't know if I need to do that. The stems are quite weak at this point. As the summer goes on, they get harder. So here's my blender. So all I'm going to do is chop. I'm going to make a handful of them. Here's garlic. I'm going to put a little bit of water in this broccoli here, so it'll steam. I don't know if you can hear that. All right, so here's my Here's my cucumber that I'm going to chop up here. I got a pretty nice blender. I probably don't need to chop much more than that. So that's what we got there. That is one cucumber. And here's a bunch of mint that's going in there. This is organic ginger. It looks much better than non-organic ginger. So I like a lot of ginger. That might be too much for some people, but that's what I would put in. That's been soaked and rinsed. I do try to clean it. Louise actually gave me this cool idea. I didn't know about it before. I told you, you guys teach me more than I teach you. So that's just skinning it, and there's almost no waste. It's so handy. I'm not going to do that too much. You get carried away, you can take everything off. But like I said, it's been washed, it's been soaked, and then I have a blender that's going to chop it up to liquid anyway, so it's not going to make much of a difference. So I'm going to chop these up a bit. Again, I don't need to chop these up too much. So that ginger's going in the blender. And I put about 4 stalks of celery in, depending on how many I'm making. I'm just gonna wash that. Sometimes even if you soak that, even if you soak the celery, there's still dirt. There's still dirt on the inside for whatever reason. I'm just gonna chop the bottoms and tops off, and then this just goes like that. It's always good. I already rolled this. You can see it's soft. Try to find lemons that are thin and a bit squishy so you can roll it. You'll get more juice out of it that way. I'm gonna cut this in half. And you don't need this tool, but it's pretty cool. And you get more lemon out of it that way. So all I'm gonna do is put the inside of the lemon. Oops, I'm gonna put the inside over here. And I'm gonna squish it. And I wanna move this over here so I don't get lemon juice on the computer. That's it, that's pretty slick. I'm gonna squeeze it one more time. I'm gonna put both in actually. I don't usually, but I'm gonna get crazy here. And that's pretty much it. Oh, of course I'm gonna put cilantro in there. I'm gonna put cilantro in. I got that big stack I was showing you. There's that's going in. That's probably more than I would usually put in, but because I have so much, I want to use it. Actually, I'm not going to put all that in there. I lied. That seemed to be quite a bit. I'm going to put that in there. The more of this stuff you put in, the more pulpy it will be. It doesn't really bother me, but I do like it liquidy as well. So we got, this is parsley here. We're going to throw just a handful of parsley in there. I don't measure that. I just stuff it in. And then I need to wait till I get more water. I use filtered water or spring water. I wouldn't use water straight from the tap. Personal preference for a bunch of reasons. You know, I think one of the biggest reasons people are like, many times someone says, oh, I don't like water. I don't like to drink water. I don't like to taste the water. It's because it's not filtered water. And every once in a while, if the filter goes bad, or I don't know what goes on underground, but sometimes the water smells bad, and I couldn't imagine drinking it. So let me show you what we got going on. I'm going to put this away. I'm going to put that in there. And what else we got going on here? So I'm just waiting for the water to filter. I want to show you our end product here again. So that's the end product. So that's how to flavor. There's nothing in there. There's no soy sauce. There's no additives. I didn't even put salt and pepper in that, which you can if you like. But that's how you flavor. That's how you use natural foods to flavor your dinner, really. And then we got the broccoli here. That's I don't know if you can hear it, but it's already steaming right now. So that's wilting a bit right now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some balsamic vinegar and salt. My back's going to be to you. I wish I could move my stuff so you could see, but I'm just going to do that real quick and I'll be right with you. So we have Himalayan salt. That's from MAK Mystic Expressions. We always use her salt. It's beautiful pink salt in this nice, I don't think it's glass, that's ceramic maybe? Or glass, I don't know. And then we have balsamic vinegar here. So all I'm going to do is sprinkle this on here. That's going on the Chinese broccoli, and that's going to turn out beautifully. So all we have is garlic, coconut water, or coconut oil, and salt and pepper. That's it. I'm going to mix this around a bit. And we're going to let that cook and steam. And steam in the pan here. So that's going to turn out really nice. It already looks really nice. Now this water's done filtering here. And I usually 32 ounces of water, so hopefully that'll do it. All right, that's what we got going on right there. I'm going to turn that blender on. So just hang with me. I'm going to show you how I store it as well in glass containers. So it's going to be loud, so just stay right there. Don't go anywhere. All right, so that's done. And we store them in glass jars here. So it could either be a mason jar, or this is one of those kombucha jars that we've used and saved. So all I'm gonna do is pour this in here. So number one, that's gonna sit in the fridge for a maximum of 3 days. I'm not gonna tell you how long it's supposed to be in there or when it starts losing oxidation, I think it is. But if you store these in the fridge, then all you have to do is take it out of the fridge and go. This is what I have in the morning right after kombucha. So it's fantastic. So that's it. That's very gingery. It's amazing. I love that. Wakes me up in the morning. That's my energy drink. That would be our, I don't know, coffee, Red Bull. People drink all kinds of crazy things in the morning. Coke. Need a Coke? Pick me up. Here's your Coke. There you go. I'll put these in the fridge. And there's more. I'm gonna make. That's gonna make at least one more. That usually makes 3 to 4 of those glass containers. And I think that's it. I want to show you this end product here. That's what that looks like. So I hope that looks good to you, because I can't wait to eat it. Might put some salt on there, pepper possibly, but usually that's it. Maybe some lemon, but I'm gonna eat that the way it is without anything else. And then I want to show you this. Ouch! Don't do that at home. And that's, I can't turn that over too much because the balsamic vinegar is going to pour out, but that's it. That's what it looks like. So we have that. That's the dinner. That's dinner. That's lunch. Whatever you want. It's not going to be. It's no meat. If you feel the need, chop up a oh, that's still on. If you feel the need, put a chicken breast on the side of that. But that's not how we roll, and I definitely don't feel like I need that. So that's going to be it. So prepare. That's it. I wanted to welcome you into our kitchen. Hang out with us a bit on this Sunday afternoon, and get your prep in. It's going to make your week so much easier. We all know what it's like to be ready for a project or already have our homework done or whatever it is, instead of rushing and trying to figure out what you're going to have. That's why we do this for you. That's why we do the meal plans. That's why we send it out early, so you can get your prep in and done. And you don't have to worry about stressing out all week or that night, all day, what are you going to have? The kids are asking you, your spouse is asking you, whatever it is. Prepare ahead of time so you have extra food stored. So that if that's a dinner, for example, you cook twice as much. You have your portion, then you have the rest for lunch. So you have that prepared. We have our green smoothies prepared now for at least a couple of days. I usually batch those, so I make them in enough so there's 3. So you can get 3 in each day, or not 3 in, 3 in for the week. So I have the next 3 days that's prepared. And then the granola, so that's breakfast for the next week. The week is prepared. And there's muffins as well that Dorothy just took out of the oven and put in the fridge. So those are prepared for our snacks. And you grab a fruit and make it easy. Make healthy living easy. It's not supposed to be difficult. And I think that's why we're all here doing this together, to learn from each other and understand it doesn't have to be difficult. If we prepare a little bit ahead of time, then we'll be that much further ahead when it's time to supplement your body, put good nutrients in your body and feel energized and burn that body fat throughout the day. So I'm gonna let you go on that. I think that was pretty long. I don't know, probably one of our longer videos, but I wanted to welcome you in and give you a chance to check it out. And I'm gonna let you go on that. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being a part of our monthly membership. These videos here are exclusive only to you. So we want to thank you for being here, and we will see you inside.